All right, generally what I do is I start with a full log, which are over there. This is honey locust.
And how does it come to you?
It came to me from that tree over there in the field.
Okay.
It lost a couple of branches during that last storm.
Uh-huh.
And the fellow was nice enough to let me have a couple of pieces.
Cool.
But what I'll do is I'll cut a log section of some dimension. And what I'll do is I'll take anchor seal and tin foil on the end grain. So I'll slobber the anchor seal on the end grain. While the anchor seal is still wet, I'll lay over a piece of tin foil, and then I tape it in place, because generally these are stored outside.
So how, anchor seal brand or any water soluble log wax?
I use anchor seal because that's what we had at the time, and I bought a 5-gallon unit.
Sure. So do you slather it on thick?
Slather it on thick.
And you don't do anything on the face grain, just on the around the perimeter of a cross grain bowl blank.
Yeah.
Got it.
And if it's a log length, it's just the two ends. And that piece, I believe, came from Rhode Island. So that makes it stored 7 to 10 years.
Uh-huh.
So it sticks. This piece here was handled a little bit differently. This is ambrosia maple. This was cut in Connecticut. It was slathered all around with anchor seal, stuffed in a paper bag with its own shavings. This is 20 years old. So once it gets to, you can see that it's already moved. I think, can you?
Oh yeah, sure.
So it's stable now, but I haven't gotten the chance to turn it.
So are you always doing that, turning a rough and then doing a finished turning later?
Yeah, usually.
Yeah.
The only time I don't rough turn is when I'm turning natural edges, because I don't care where the natural edge goes. But I don't. My preference is a nice flat edge on the top of a turn bowl. This is also a piece of cherry. I'm not sure where this came from. I think it might have come from here. I don't remember. I usually put a date on it.
So why the tin foil? And could you use plastic instead?
You could. Tin foil is for sure nothing's going through it. Okay, all over here are bowl blanks that I took from Rhode Island. So some of them are 15, 20 years old. This one is dated 2005. This piece of madrone on the lathe came to me wrapped in a plastic trash bag, and I made the mistake of thinking that it would be okay to leave it here in the bag. But if you can see around this side, it's cracked up pretty good.
So it had nothing on it, but it was in the trash bag.
That's right, it was raw and in the trash bag.
So the plastic on it now, you put that on, or it?
Yeah, this I put on I just mounted it a couple of days ago, and my idea was to rough turn it and get it into a paper bag with shavings and get it to try to stabilize. But madrone is notoriously cracky. It moves tremendous amounts. And, this is also a piece of madrone burl. This is a piece that was wrapped in plastic when it was very green, and it got all moldy like that.
Like that one. Yeah.
Like that one. And I just cleaned off the mold the other day.
Well, now what did you clean that off with?
I turned it. I didn't put any anchor seal. I just wrapped it back up because I want to turn this right away. Because what I'm after in madrone is I want all that movement and all those odd shapes that you get with madrone.
So you're going to turn that green and let it go from there.
It's still wet. It's not green anymore because it's been a while.
Over here.
All of these burls here, these are all black ash.
And how'd you get those?
I buy those.
And then do they come to you wrapped up like that?
No, they'll usually come wrapped in corrugated cardboard, and the fellow will wrap the corrugated cardboard with packing tape. And I usually leave it like that for a time because it'll stabilize. All of these big burls underneath here came that way. And I didn't do anything special other than leave them alone to let them normalize. And then the ash is one of those woods, whether it's burl or straight grain, it dries pretty evenly and quickly. What does it make it? Here's one of those burls that came to me green. Just, I just set it aside.
And nothing, it is just stabilized all by itself.
Yep.
You would never put anchor seal on that because you don't want it down in the burly bits.
Yeah, I want the natural edge.
Yeah.
It looks like a nice piece of burl. This is the way I got it from him. And I haven't decided what to do with it yet. I'm thinking it's going to be a bowl with 2 handles, or at least 1 handle. But that's on the list of things to do as well.
Okay.
So this is a piece of pin oak. It was cut, I don't know where the grain is, yeah. The pith is here. So the log was halved, just set aside, and just threw it under the lathe. When I turned that bowl, I said, gee, that pin oak is pretty nice. I cut it into
It's a red oak, isn't it?
It is a red oak.
Yeah.
I cut it into an octagon and wrapped it in plastic and said I want to save that. So here's a piece of pin oak, I believe, that I put in the shavings in a brown paper bag. With nothing on it. Yeah, this is rough turned.
And how long do you think it's going to sit in the bag before you return it?
Oh, I won't return it until late winter, early spring.
So do you date the bag so you know?
I used to, yeah.
No, you don't care.
No, well, this particular piece is not a really great piece because it's got some spalting on it.
Yeah.
It's already started to rot.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of punky areas. You can see the grain on the inside.
And what are you going to do with those punky areas?
Well, I'll just stabilize them with super glue. Here's another piece of pin oak which would have benefited from anchor seal. And there's the date. It's still solid wood, but it's gotten all moldy. So I don't know if it'll be any good when I turn it, but I'll turn the mold off and see what's underneath. If it's decent, I'll continue. If not, it's one of those things that goes to the club. Here's a couple other pieces of pin oak. Now these were cut out of pretty big logs. So you can see, cut like that, just a little bit of end grain sealer, and it stayed in good shape.
So there's nothing on it except painted the end grain.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just one side.
Uh-huh.
This one had nothing on it.
Uh-huh.
So I got a little bit of checking on that end, but nothing on this end.
Okay, now where are you storing these? Just right in here?
Right here, yeah.
Yeah. Anywhere you can put them.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Pretty much.
Everywhere.